As long as you can remember righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, you'll be able to maintain your rollers. The needle bearing design is made to handle heavy use and just needs to be kept clean and greased. Use hot water and a pinch of dish soap or sanitizer as needed, as we do not recommend any harsh cleaners or chemicals. If you wouldn't put it on a duck in a commercial that highlights the bad parts of late-stage industrialism, don't put it on your seamer. Add a healthy amount of any food-grade grease. Twist the axle bolt when reinserting to help work it into the bearing. When reinstalling, make sure the bronze washer is centered and seated. Otherwise, it can pinch in between the axle bolt and pivot arm. Check by hand to make sure we're now rolling. Now we're going to spin to the lower bearing. First, lift the lower adapter off the base shaft. Use a small flathead screwdriver to remove the bearing retention circlip. Clean and re-grease the bearing and wave springs. Keep track of how many wave springs and shim washers are in the adapter to ensure the base force remains the same. If a wave spring is broken into multiple pieces, it will need to be replaced. When reinserting, make sure the thick side of the inner race is facing out and visible. If installed upside down, it will separate. It's not going to stay together just for the kids. Place it back on the base shaft and give it a spin for an extra sense of accomplishment. The base shaft needs to be cleaned and lubricated, just like any shaft. Remove the clevis pin to easily slide it up and out to clean and re-grease. Put it back in as it was. You really can't mess that up. The splash screen can be easily cleaned by removing the clevis pin and flipping around. Use a warm wet rag with a pinch of dish soap or sanitizer to clean everywhere the light touches. Our stainless backsplash panel has curved edges to make this even easier. The drip tray should be dumped and cleaned regularly. Don't be gross. Having a power struggle and the CIA won't back your coup? Pop off this plastic cover and reset the breaker switch. If the lights are on but nobody's home, check to make sure the splash shield safety switch is engaging. You should hear a faint click. If not, the position of the safety switch can be easily adjusted. Take your top off, find the safety switch bracket on the left, and loosen the Allen screws. Adjust the position by hand until you feel a click when closing the splash shield. Tighten it back down and button her up. Can in a jam? Remove the can, if you can, and run an empty cycle to reset. If you are unable to remove the can, you may need to manually reverse the cycle a bit. Go topless, the cam switch will need to be moved out of the way, and manually turn the large gear farthest from the operator clockwise by hand. Once reset, check your rollers by hand to see if either is seized and perform roller maintenance if needed. Are your cans skipping? First, check your center chuck by hand to make sure it is not loose. If so, tighten with an Allen wrench by tapping the end with your fist. Next, check your rollers by hand to make sure neither is seized. If both rollers are rolling, you may need to increase your clamping force. Remove the base adapter and the bearing inside of it. If a wave spring is broken or missing, you likely only need to replace it. Otherwise, add one additional shim washer to the stack to increase the clamping force. Repeat if necessary. Crushing cans is a cool way to show off at a party. Crushing cans in your machine, however, is a bad thing. First, check your upper chuck profile and make sure your ends seat perfectly onto it. Next, look at the engraving on your adapter and make sure the engraving matches the can size you are trying to seam. Next, make sure the centering ring on your adapter is the right fit for your bottom dome. The can should sit flush and level and could crush if the ring is too big. If the ring is correct in your crushing cans, remove one shim washer at a time from within the lower adapter until it no longer crushes cans. Are your seams weeping? First, make sure nothing else earlier in this video applies to you, and fix it if it does. If not, measure your seams. and then measure them again. If only your body hook and cover hook are low, add a shim washer in your adapter. We have a separate video on measuring seams here.